well, I can't get enough of hot sauce, so I better be making some more. Today, I'm going to be doing a smoky fermented green hot sauce. So what I have here for peppers, I started off with, it was just under a pound of poblanos, and then between the Anaheim, these 4 jalapenos, and these 5 habanero peppers, it comes right out at 2 pounds of peppers. These I'm going to be smoking. So for that, I'm just going to take them, and I'm going to cut them just in half for now. I'm going to fire them onto a tray. Get these things all split up. And then we're going to smoke the heck out of them. And once they get going on there, I can start to prep the other ingredients for this. So I'll just get them onto this tray here. And we're going to go outside. I've already got my Pit Boss pellet grill going. And just on the smoke setting for now, which is how I want to start it off. And we're going to get these, a whole bunch of smoke on there. So out to the grill. So yeah, I've got this on the smoke feature here. Lots of nice smoke coming through here. So I'll probably see what it's looking like in about an hour and see if I want to give it some more time. So here we are after 1 hour. It's looking nice and smoky in here. I'm going to actually just leave these in here and crank the Pit Boss up to 350 and let them sit for a bit. All right, so I've got these 3 limes here, and I just peeled them with a paring knife, making sure to get off all the peel and the pith. And then I'm just going to cut them into small little slices here, and then cut around that little core just to eliminate that. And then I'm going to set them aside because we're going to be giving them a little saute. Oh, and I just took that kind of medium yellow onion and those 8 garlic cloves there. The garlic I just kind of trimmed off the end there, cut them in half. The onion, obviously, I just peeled it, sliced it in half, and then kind of got it in thick slices. And I just have it sauteed up here. I'm looking for just a little bit of Maillard reactions on that, so just a little bit of crisp, and I'm going to take them off now. And next I have these 4 peaches that I've just cut into quarters, and I'm just going to be putting them on here as well, just to get a little bit of color on them too. And then lastly here, I'm just going to give these little lime chunks a really quick saute just to brown them up. They're already practically done. And then I will put them aside as well. Alright, so once that smoker got up to 350, I just let these sit in there for about 15 minutes, and I've pulled them off. I'm going to let them cool down, and then they're going in the jar. Alright, so now that these are cooled down, I'm just going to use a knife and just cut out the seeds and the stems here of these larger peppers, and also get the seeds out of these habaneros here. Okay, so it's time to pack our jar here. So you can see I got like most of the seeds out of these peppers. I'm not super concerned about making sure I've got every last little drop, but either way, I also took these peaches and cut them just a little bit further, and now I'm just going to start packing stuff in here, kind of alternating back and forth between different stuff, making sure to get this lime into here too, onions, garlic, peaches, peppers, lots and lots of amazing ingredients here. So, just like this, we're going to keep packing this jar. Okay, so that's all of that. I'm just going to quickly mix up my brine, and then we can add it. Alright, so for this brine, I've got, this is 4 cups of water. This is probably more brine than I'm going to need. I think, we'll see. Just 4 cups of warm water, and then I've got 25 grams of just coarse sea salt, and I'm just going to whisk it here to try to get it to dissolve. And this will give us right in that 2.5% brine, or salinity brine here. There we go. That took just under a minute to get that all nicely mixed up. And now we're going to put that into here. Peppers are making us sneeze. All those air bubbles to get out. Like that. And I'm just going to quickly set my lid on this and sanitize my fermentation weight. We'll be right back. All right, so I've got my glass fermentation weight here. I'm just going to set that right in there, push it down. And now I am going to remove a little bit of this brine because there's enough of it in here. Once I push this thing down, that's going to all wind up pushing out. So I'm just going to pour a little out. See how much of it I can spill everywhere. Just a little bit more. Because we just want to make sure that everything's all nicely covered up. And like that. Perfect. So now I can get this on here. And I'm just going to place it. I'm going to actually leave it on my kitchen counter, but covered up with a towel just so that the sunlight isn't messing around with it. And we'll see it when it kicks off with fermentation. Okay. 2 days in on this ferment. And some definite signs of activity here. You can see all kinds of carbon dioxide being produced inside there. The brine has gotten nice and murky, indicating a lot of bacterial growth in there. So it's going to let it keep cranking away. So after 2.5 weeks of fermenting, I would say that all these ingredients are ready to finish off into a hot sauce. All right, so I'm going to be adding a couple of things to that. First of all, I've got some fresh cilantro, and you'll see that I've left a bunch of the stem on here, and that's because I was watching a TV show with a Mexican chef, and he was talking about how he always cooks with the stems because they have tons of flavor. And I'm going to trust that. And since I'm blitzing this up in the blender here, the texture of the stems and whatnot isn't going to be any sort of weird mouthfeel situation. I'm also going to be using some parsley here. I've got about 3/4 cup of that, and I didn't leave nearly as much stem on there because I haven't heard anybody talk about the stems of parsley. And there's just over a cup of that cilantro. And then I've got for now about a cup of an apple cider vinegar, because that's just got a little bit more flavor than the white vinegar, and I think it might taste really nice in here. I'm going to be blitzing this stuff up in the glass blender here. I wish I had a larger glass blender. I don't, so I'll probably have to do it in a couple of rounds. I like glass rather than plastic because I always have this fear that the plastic might take on some of that heat and ruin the next thing I put through it. So now it's time to get ready to blend. All right, so I'm just going to remove the airlock there. I'm also going to just set aside this fermentation weight. Don't want that getting in the way. Now I've got everything sanitized here. The blender, I've got this colander, the stainless bowls. I'm going to strain out this stuff here. Oh, is it going to come out? No, it's going to require a little bit of convincing. Okay, so I'm going to get all this stuff out. I'm going to separate it from the brine so that I can control how much brine is going into the finished product. So let's just take a second here. All right. And I'm just going to get set up to add to the blender. Okay, I'm all prepped up here. I separated the brine here. I wound up with about 1.5 cups of that brine. It's looking all fun and darker and murky. Certainly not like the water it once was. So I'm going to start, I'm just going to probably put hopefully half of about everything into here. And see what happens. All this produce in here. A little bit more. And I'm going to add around half of the cider vinegar. The liquid is going to really help it actually start to blend up. And I'm going to aim for around 1/2 cup here. Just a little bit more of that brine. Now, let's her up. So I gave that about a minute. I'm just going to check out the consistency here. Very nice. I think I want it just a touch more liquidy. So I think I'll wind up adding a little bit more of this. I'll probably wind up using all of this brine. So I'll mix this up for another second here. All right, so that was about another minute. Pour that into here. And actually at this point, I'm curious to give it a taste, just to see what's going on, in case I want to adjust what goes into the second half. So I will just use another spoon here. And try not to drip it everywhere. Ooh, definitely smoky. That's awesome. Just on this. Okay, sweet. I think I'm actually really quite happy with that as it is. So, all of that judgment just to decide that I'm happy with it. It's good. Okay. And it's hard to really say about the balance of that, because I don't know exactly how even I was with the distribution of the garlic and the peaches and everything like that. So let's get that into there. Let's get in the rest of this. I like adding these fresh herbs. I know, like, if you're not a fan of cilantro, I still, recommend at least getting in some parsley here. It really helps punch up that color, because I find, like, particularly the green peppers are really bad for dulling during the fermentation process. They get really, really quite faded, and it's nice to kind of have a bit more vibrant of a color in the hot sauce. At least that's my preference. It just looks way better, and aesthetics go a long way. So here we go. Okay, so again, that was about 2 minutes total for that. Just going to add this into here. I don't know if you could tell there, but it's definitely, yeah, you can see that, definitely a lighter color. So I'm just going to get a rubber scraper, because I forgot to grab one before. All right, so I cleared some of that stuff out of my way. Now I'm just going to give this a nice little blend. And then we'll give this a taste and see if there's anything that I want to change. You could follow this recipe exactly if you wanted, but it's kind of important to be a little bit flexible, just based on the heat of your specific peppers, how the fermentation goes, all that kind of stuff. So you always want to be tasting and stuff as you go. All right, so here we go. Oh, that's really nice. It's got like a really nice sweetness from those peaches, a little bit of garlickiness. It's got the onion character in there, pungency. Those fresh herbs also really kind of like liven it up a little bit, and you get that earthiness of the cilantro. It's got a little bit of heat, not too much, but again, the heat wasn't the point. It wasn't supposed to be super hot. Just kind of like a really, really gentle heat and that nice smokiness there. So I'm going to grab another spoon and have another taste and see if there's any last tweaking I want to do. All right, so I am ready to bottle everything up. I also have all this stuff sanitized with my Star San sanitizer, which I use in my home brewing because it's great. It's non-toxic, you can't taste it, you can't smell it, and it's just a quick, simple contact sanitizer, and then it's done. You don't have to rinse it or anything. So I am going to bottle up some in this kind of fancier looking little bottle here, just because it's nice for presentation. This is the point when I wish I had a larger spoon for this. Perfect. And the rest of it, just for ease of use, is going to be these 250 ml mason jars. We'll see how many that will fill up. Of course, using this little canning jar filler to hopefully minimize spill all over the kitchen here. So I had to score a few more jars there, or 2 more jars. So all in, this made 2 1/4 liters of this hot sauce. I've got again this fun little dollar store jar, and then the rest of them are in these mason jars. Just pop these things in the fridge. They should last well over a year, just because of all that awesome bacteria that's in there, the dominant cultures, and the acidity and stuff will keep it really solid. But again, really happy with this hot sauce. Nice, smoky, sweet, mild heat. She's gonna get it on herself, which is gonna be hilarious. Do you like hot sauce? No,
it's spicy.
It's spicy, right? Well, this one isn't too bad, but she's still not going to eat it, which means more for me. Oh, baby, this hot sauce is just fantastic. Those flavors pair super well with tacos, fajitas, hamburgers, hot dogs, sausages, chicken, all kinds of stuff. It's just beautiful. It's light, it's mild, it's got a little bit of heat. And that smokiness is fantastic. It pairs with that earthiness and the herbal flavors so well. So yeah, just delightful. Yeah, really fun. Hope you give it a whirl. If you do, let me know how it goes. And until next time, keep it 11. What is this stuff? What is this?
Hot sauce.
Very nice.
He gets stuff.